Hi, it's Kim. Notes from my needle. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a couple of weeks since I made a video. I took a little break there after Mania. The weekly videos I think are going to be a little bit too much because I don't really have enough to show to really make a video every week, and I feel like I'll have a little bit more to show if I put it on every 2 weeks. We'll see how that goes for the time being. I might just decide that I'm going to post a video when I feel like it and kind of see how that works out. It's starting to get really nice out here in Nova Scotia, so I've been spending a lot of time outdoors, and when I spend more time outdoors, I typically don't stitch as much. They're finally easing up on some of the COVID restrictions here, so that's been great. But yeah, like things have been going really well. I have quite a bit to show you today. Not quite sure where I should start. Maybe I will start with my latest whip. So the recent issue of Cross Stitcher magazine came out digitally, and it had a new Emma Condon in it. The name of it is Beach Trip. I don't know if that's backwards for you or not. Anyway, it ends up being a pillow. A fairly large pillow because this is done on 14 count. I'm not doing mine on 14 count. I'm doing mine on 16 count. I picked up half a meter of 16 count off-white Aida at my local fabric shop, and I coffee tea dyed the piece that I need for this. I've started with the A in the center, and this is where I've gotten so far. All that's left to do on this A is there's some light blue, this color, that goes in between these bands. There's some off-white here, and then down here is some brown sandy color, as well as like the bucket, a little crab. And then I don't know if I'm going to go backwards and go EB or go forwards and do the CH, but I guess I'll figure that out once I'm finished this. It is super pretty, and it's going to be really nice once it's done. It is quite a lot of stitching. Like in this A alone, I think there's probably about maybe 1,600 stitches, if not more. It's quite large. It is, what's the stitch count? It is not on here. I think it was like 84 by 200 and some. I'm not 100, I just know it's large, and all these letters are full coverage. There's no like blank areas in them, but it's Emma Condon, and if you've been watching me for a bit, you know how much I love her. So when I saw this, I absolutely had to stitch it, and I'm really liking it. So sticking with whips, I only really have, sorry, I know I shouldn't be touching my face, but I really only had one other big one that I'm working on consistently, and that I've been working on for the past week or so, and it's Coffee Quaker. And that's what it looks like now. The last time I showed it, I think I had this motif, this bottom motif completely finished, and I'm working on over to here. I still haven't decided yet on this berry bowl because I'm doing it with one variegated floss. And this calls for multiple colors. There's not really a whole lot of contrast to show that it's a berry bowl. It kind of just looks like a blotch, really. So what I might do is I'm going to stitch everything else first, and then I'm going to come back to this and figure out if I want to pull one of the smaller motifs to here, like one of these birds. So this bird would be cute there, or maybe one of these birds, or even something similar to this motif, and put that in. But you know, and I'm up here, I'm working, this motif is where I left off. I've put an H for my last name in there, and then I'm going to finish this and then work my way across the top. And this I'm hoping to get finished probably, I don't know, I want to say by the end of July maybe. We'll see. This is a great travel piece because where I'm only using the one floss, I don't have to worry about swapping out colors, so I can just count and not have to worry about that. So that's been great. I guess maybe I will go with purchases. I don't really have a whole lot of purchases. Like I mentioned, I purchased a half a meter of 16 count Aida. My local Home Sense and Marshalls and Winners and everything like that have recently opened up, so we went to Home Sense, my friend and I, and observing social distancing while we both went in our masks and everything. But I picked this up, and I have been on the lookout for this type of clipboard frame for a while, because what I have it in mind for is the hands-on design year of celebration. So to be able to just swap those out, like once I finish them, my plan is to put another piece of board in behind these and make those kind of a taller rectangle so that the clips on to the fabric part and not to the actual stitching. And I was really, really happy to find this because this was basically exactly what I was looking for. I kind of went back and forth about maybe chalk painting it with a gray, but I think the white is going to go better with all of these pieces. I just have to decide what I'm going to do as a background fabric on all of these. If I'm going to do one background fabric to make them a little bit more cohesive, or if I'm going to pull a color out of each one and use that as the background. I mean, I'm not anywhere finished these. I think I'm only finished with March and April, so I have a lot of time to decide on that, but it's just something I've been mulling over in the back of my head. And other than that, I don't have any other purchases. I did purchase like a few things, but I'm not counting them yet because they haven't arrived, so I can't show you. I guess I'll hop into finishes. I was on a kick for probably about a week or so with some Mill Hill kits that I had in my stash, and I did finish off quite a few of them. One I fully finished, and two are finished just waiting to be cut out and backed. So I finished this pineapple. I love this so much. It's so sparkly. The camera is not doing that justice at all, but it's super fun, and my son is obsessed with pineapples, so he was really happy to see that as an addition to our Christmas tree this coming year. I also finished this Happy Camper, it's called. This is also super cute, and it's going to look great on my tree. I wished I could have found one with a tent, because when we camp, we tent. We don't have a trailer, but this was close enough, and it's super cute, and I really love how it turned out. And then this one is fully finished. Isn't that so cute? This one is, I want to say it's probably 60% beads as opposed to stitching, especially this band up here. I just love how that turned out. And snowmen are my favorite, snowmen and penguins. So I'm loving that, and I can't wait to see that displayed on my tree. And then this is a Brooks Books that I finished. I just need to put a hanger on it. This is on plastic canvas, and it's backed in white felt. There are a few changes that I did make. The pom-pom on Santa's hat, it called for a Krynic chenille, but I couldn't find that anywhere, so I basically just stitched an embroidery like rose, like where you make the wheel and weave in and under and over, and I used Petite Treasure braid for that. And then with this too, there's supposed to be little bows on either end of the garland, and I couldn't be bothered doing that because doing the little bow for Santa's mustache was so fiddly that I just got really frustrated with it, and I just kind of wanted to be done. But it's super cute. I like how all these little pieces turned out, and those are just all tacked on, and I think he's going to make a nice addition to my tree this year as well. And speaking of additions, actually, no. I'll hold that thought for 1 second and just finish showing you my finishes. I finally got my Barbara Anna the Key fully finished. I finally managed. I had originally purchased a 7-inch hoop thinking that it was going to fit, but it actually needed an 8-inch. So I picked up an 8-inch hoop. I had to wait for it to arrive. This trim is from a grab bag of multiple trims that I got at Michael's for like $7. Inside here, I did take a piece of batting and cut a circle of batting to put inside to kind of stuff it a little bit. And then it's just backed in a circle of felt. And I think it turned out absolutely perfect, and I love it so much. And this yellow trim, I had just had the bare wood, and it just needed a tiny little bit something else, and this trim is, it's so perfect, it's almost like I planned it, even though I didn't. It just happened to be in that grab bag. And then my last finish, I just fully finished this off yesterday. This piece I stitched last June, and it's been sitting in my, what most people would call their under the bed box, but I call my finished drawer of shame that I haven't fully finished off. And this is the magical Narwhal, and this is another Emma Condon piece. This board is from Walmart. It wasn't finished, it was bare wood. I stained it, and then I found this glitter paint at Michael's. I'll go closer. And it has all these flakies in it. So I did a layer of that, and then I did a layer of glossy Mod Podge just to seal in that glitter. There's 2 layers of trim. There's the mini pom-poms, and then there's like a pink and purple trim in behind that, which are both from that Michael's grab bag. And then this is just on mat board with a piece of batting in between the mat board and the stitched piece. And it's all just stuck on there with tacky glue. The only thing with this is this Walmart board, they actually have the hanging hardware on it because it was meant to be hung this way. But I prefer the spaces in between the boards to go horizontally rather than vertically. So I just have to go and pick up a little picture hanging kit just so that I can, string a wire on the back so that I can hang it on the wall. And I think this is going to go on the wall with the rest of the pieces that I have above my sewing machine right now, which include like the key, my yoga piece, and my Good Morning Maui Golden Girls. And so basically all I have left to talk about is kind of my plans. I think I'm going to do Jolly July this year, or I'm going to attempt to anyway. I have a bunch of Christmas patterns, and I mean, I stitch Christmas all year round anyway, because that's kind of what I'm drawn to. I love Christmas, and Christmas is my thing. So I did pick up a few patterns a couple months ago from Doreen Jones, and then I had some Lizzie Kates in my stash. So I think I've decided what I'm going to do. I think I'm definitely going to attempt to do this one. It's not very big. It's only 25 by 102. So I think I'm going to do that one. And then I did get a bunch of small Doreen Jones from her Etsy shop, and I really love these. So I think I'm going to do these. And she does have, sorry, this is just on my tablet, so there was another one of hers that I want to do as well, I think, for Jolly July. Bear with me, please, sorry. There it goes. And it's these happy penguins. So I don't want to give myself a lot because I don't want to get overwhelmed and then kind of just give up on it. So I think if I focus on just those ones, and then if I have extra time, I do have some other Lizzie Kates and some Prairie Schoolers that I can pull out. The Prairie Schoolers might be good to have just as kind of like a traveling project because they use a lot of similar colors. So I think instead of using what's called for, what I'm more likely to do with those is just pick a red, a white, a green, whatever colors is called for that I like. And that way I can work multiple of those as traveling projects and it's not so much to bring everywhere. That's my thought on that anyway, so hopefully that works out, and obviously I will share how Jolly July goes. Are any of you doing Jolly July? I would love to hear what your plans are for Jolly July, if you plan to do it, if you plan to not, if Christmas isn't your jam, if you plan to do something else. But that's basically all I have right now. I'm going to focus on probably getting the letter A done on Beach on the beach trip, and then possibly finish off a couple of other things. I finally decided that I want more of the Smyrna crosses on my hands-on design block party, the mend one, to show more. So I finally decided how much I want to cut down the felt so I can finally blanket stitch that on and then get that done and stuff. So hopefully I'll have that done by the next time I see you. And I hope you're all getting some stitchy time, family time, outdoor time in wherever you are and enjoying the nice weather. And hopefully, you know, things are getting better in your part of the world, just how they're getting better in my part of the world. And until next time, thank you for watching. I appreciate every single one of you that watch and subscribe and leave comments. It just makes doing this a little bit more worthwhile to know that I can engage with other people that love this hobby as much as I do. That's all I have for now. Bye.